GameLeapers, what's up? This is Iggs. Welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 champions that we know of thus far for a bit of 13-13, mate. And let me just say something, bro. Like, I was actually kind of right in my predictions. Well, for the most part anyway. Because some of the champions I put in, like, our actual top 10s video, like predicting the champions, they're in here. And some of these champions, guys, are super OP at the moment. And the stats we're going to be getting into are Master and above. Now, for those of you who think that's elitist or whatever, in high relos, that dictates the meta, yeah? Those are the strongest champions. So if you play the strongest champions against players who are playing the game the best, you have a fighting chance. If you're playing a real trash champion in high reelers who's really, really weak and underpowered, you're going up against people abusing the strong champs, right? Who don't make mistakes based on like the role and macro and stuff, right? So it's really champion against champion at higher levels, which is why if you pick one of these 10 champions, you've got a better chance of winning for sure, but it doesn't really mean that much in lower elos because you're making so many fundamental errors anyway, back timing, positioning, spacing, communication, which we can teach you how to like, you know, perfect, I guess, on our website at GameLeap.com, description, comment section. Sign up, don't be bad, thank you. Now then, top 10 champions, here we go. Master and above, coming in at number 10, one of the most, well, snowballing 1v9 supports available to you is Blitzcrank. This guy is still banned at close to 25% of matches, and that's in an elo where, well, dodging hooks probably happens with a bit more regularity because people know and people expect it, right? And they can kind of anticipate it a little bit better than someone in lower elos. So for Blitzcrank to have this ban, right, it tells us that players in Master and above don't enjoy playing against the Crank. Also in lower elos, I think he's even better because most people just pick those like Enchanter supports and stuff. Engaged supports, they're seeing a lot more at higher levels of play. So Blitzcrank is an amazing support to pick because he counters still a lot of popular supports in lower elos. And if you do get good at this champion and you can land your hooks on the reg, it's GG bot lane. Now the third best bot laner, and this time it's an AD carry, according to the top 10, this is Kai'Sa. And Kai'Sa, I think, has really benefited from the engaged support meta taking over because her passive works, you know, like with her ultimate and stuff. With engaged supports, it allows her to ult in when your support goes in. It's just the synergy with these supports a lot better than if you're picking Kai'Sa with some sort of enchanter. Also, Static Shift, even though it did get nerfed, like in terms of the AP and stuff in this, it's still actually proving to be really good on Kai'Sa. Just make sure, again, you're rushing this item, and it should be happy days. And that's pretty much the build as well, by the way, guys. Hail of Blades, because you want burst damage on this champion, especially with all the engaged supports going around. Maybe if you have something like a Yuumi or a Lulu or some like weaker combo, you can go lethal tempo, right? But what you want is something like a Blitzcrank or a Rel, something like this next to you. You go in with Hail of Blades, bang, 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 and you've already got 3 passive stacks, right? So it's a really nice combination. I'd just be a little bit careful about blind picking her because she does get dumpstered by a lot of AD carries. So if you're against something like an Ezreal or an AD carry who doesn't have that much pressure early game, feel free to pick Kai'Sa and you should be able to pop off. Now, next up on the countdown, we have a bot laner who is absolutely sending it at the moment in terms of win rates. This guy has over a 55%er in Master and above, and he's pretty popular now as well and gaining popularity with each day that passes, this being Karthus. Now, why is this? Well, what did I say for Kai'Sa? Engage bot lane meta, bro. Like, when you get close to Karthus, man, he's the most annoying champion in the game, yeah? Because you've got to deal with his passive, get on top of him with his defile, the constant, like, wasting. It's really hard to avoid, yeah? In this meta at the moment. So because Karthus counters what is strong, he's such a good bot laner. Also, there aren't many champions that counter him because really you're just scared of, like, max range champions. So maybe, like, Lethality Varus, maybe Caitlyn is annoying to deal with. But apart from that, man, like, most people are going to be getting close to you, especially, again, in lower elos because range doesn't exist nearly as much as it does in higher elos. So Karthus is number 8. Now coming in at number 7 is the best AD carry of the bunch. So if you guys aren't playing this chick, then you're probably trolling yourself, eh? Because Ashe is an amazing blind pick. She counters a lot of champions as well. And because of how broken Trinity Force is, honestly, I'm going to call it now. I think they're going to like hotfix nerf it. Bro, they have to put like a range cap on it because it's just making every champion who's using it broken. We're going to get into like other champions who are using it, who even got nerfed in this patch, who are still broken just because of one item. So even though they got nerfed and they'll probably continue to get nerfed, Riot just have to nerf this. But yeah, Ashe with Trinity Force is amazing, guys, because of the actual like extra damage you deal because you stick to them for longer, right? Because the threefold strike passive now lasts like 5 seconds until you like damage an enemy champion again. It's amazing for Ashe because of like the stickiness you have with your frost shots. So pair this with Trinity Force, which is now giving you extra attack damage and attack speed since they changed it a few patches ago, right? Just been insane. She's got a 53.3% win rate in Master and above. She's picked in over 11% of games, and to be honest, she should be picked in ban because she's just that powerful with this item. Works with a lot of supports as well, like Engage. Even if you're playing Lulu with an Ashe, you can play that right because she really appreciates the attack speed. So amazing all around AD AD carry. She's number 7. Moving into number 6, a champion who, well, I actually said she was getting nerfed, and she did get nerfed. But I'm surprised she's still as good as she is, and that's really just because for Rek'Sai, you're still holding on to a lot of your strength, right, in terms of your damage from your actual abilities, but also Stride Breaker as well. Rek'Sai in Master and above is banned in over 30% of games, and that's despite her attack damage going down, her base, and also her HP in the early game. The early game for Rek'Sai is crucial to actually like getting going, but even at level 6, right, once you start getting the components of Stride Breaker in around 10 minutes, when you do get Stride Breaker, the damage you deal and the stickiness you have because of the slow, it's kind of nutty, right? And it's keeping Rek'Sai in the top 10 and super OP with over 54% win rate. If there are any Rek'Sai mains out there, let me know if she actually does feel weaker and you can notice it, or if it's just like Stride Breaker inflating this win rate. Now, moving into the top 5, guys, starting us off, we have the second best top laner, and this is Jax, over a 23% ban rate. Bro, what are they doing? Like, can they just nerf this champion? I don't want to talk about Jax every single patch. That's what it's been for, I swear, like a year. Jax is also picked in over 10% of games, and to have over a 51.3% win rate, whether you're going Divine Sunder into HP, so tanky teams, whether you're going Trinity Force because you're really snowballing and there's a lot of squishiness on the enemy team, if you're going Grasp the Undying or Lethal Tempo, Grasp into like harder matchups, Tempo is really good to stack against those champions where you know fights are going to go longer, right? Jax is still an unreal top laner. You guys should definitely have him in your champion pool if you haven't already. And again, if you want to master any of these picks, guys, GameLeap.com, website down below. Challenger course is made just for you. Now, number 4 on the countdown. The best support is still going to be Rel, and that's correct because she's banned in 15% of games, picked in over 11.5% of matches, and even though she got some adjustments, right, to like, you know, movement speed, whatever it was they like changed, her amazing CC kit did not change, like the duration and the actual impact these have, right? Nothing has changed for Rel. So all those squishy supports, all those supports who you one-shot, you're still one-shotting them now, and she's still by far head and shoulders above every other support. She's the number 1 for 13-13. Now, moving into the top 3, one of those champions, guys, I mentioned who got nerfed and is still really good is one of those Trinity Force champions. Now, this champion has over a 38% ban rate. Pretty healthy in Master and above. This is Kindred. Still has a 53.34% win rate, and that's with attack damage nerfs and HP nerfs, just like Rek'Sai. These early game champions, well, Kindred still scales really well, right? So it's not like you have to get like 5 kills by 5 minutes, maybe like a Rek'Sai has to, but still, like, your early game is really, really good because lots of champions don't have gap closing, you know, until like they hit maybe even level 6, some junglers. So you can really abuse them until that point. And despite getting nerfed, despite this early game getting nerfed, she is still crushing it, man. Like, once again, this is why I think they have to nerf Trinity Force. They have to put like some sort of range cap on it. It's just too broken, bro. It's literally breaking the game at the moment. And if you're picking a champion in any role who can't use it, then you're really at a disadvantage, which is kind of a shame. Now, number 2 on this countdown, a really surprising one here. This is a mid laner who is a champion you probably have to one-trick, right? Because she is difficult and there is some sort of skill expression to this champion. This being Katarina. The reason Katarina is here is because of Nash's Tooth paired with Rocket Belt. So you're actually rushing Nash's Tooth again, guys, and remember, because it got buffed recently, like the actual ability haste in the item, yeah, building this first before anything else helps you with wave clear. And then when you get Rocket Belt with this, the AP and the magic penetration spike, it's unreal. It's all the damage you will ever need. And that's why Cat in Master and above actually has over a 53.5% win rate in close to 2,000 games already in 13-13. This is a super impressive stat line, and it might have something to do as well with like lots of other mid laners getting nerfed in this patch. So like Nico and Annie got nerfed, right? Other champions in the mid lane as well who are going Static Shift got nerfed. Katarina is like just really untouched, while everything around her has kind of gotten worse off. So Katarina is really enjoying this patch, but again, you have to know matchups. You have to know how to use her cooldowns and abilities and combo these and synergize these. So again, our website will help you to do just that, our amazing challenger, Katarina courses. But the number 1 champion, guys, you know how I mentioned Jax, man. Like, I'm actually rubbing my face right now, you know, because I'm just annoyed talking about these top laners, bro. The number 1 champion, according to the stats in 13-13, is Fiora. Man, just get me out, bro. Like, seriously, Fiora and Jax, please, balance team. Do some sort of nerf to Trinity Force and do some sort of nerf to these two or buff everyone else. One of them, because I don't want to talk about them every patch, man. Like, they're always the most popular top laners. They're always really strong. I want to see a bit of variety here. But yeah, guys, like, the stats don't lie. I have to say this. In over 2,000 matches, over a 53.5% win rate, S+ tier champion, whether you're going, you know, Trinity Force, Divine Sundra, even Stride Breaker is good on her now. If you're against a bunch of ranged champions, you can go Conqueror Grass, right? You can go Ghost if you really want to. If you're against like champions who might kite you out in the top lane, there are so many options here. Ravenous Hydra is good as well, you know, obviously. So you've got a bunch of options on this champion. She loses very few matchups, and even the matchups like you're maybe like not great into, you can win them because you're just an innately broken champion. They've even nerfed her this season, and for her to be patches later the number 1 champion in the entire game, let alone top laner, get me out. Guys, those were the 10 best top laners for 13.13. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, please remember to leave a like down below. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future Season 13 content. This has been Coach Ease. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.